Starting in the 9th century CE, the ancient Khmer people formed the most powerful empire in Southeast Asia. This empire covered much of what is now Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and southern Vietnam. The capital city of this empire, Angkor, grew to become the largest city in the world, covering almost as much land as modern-day Los Angeles. However, only 200 years after the empire's peak, it was gone, and the city of Angkor was lost to the jungle. So what happened to the Great Khmer Empire? This is 5-Minute Stories. In the early days along the Mekong River, local warlords fought viciously for land and power. The entire region was split up among these warlords, with no form of central government. Just before the turn of the 9th century, however, a man named Jayavarman II entered the picture. He came from a place called Java, but no one is certain where that is. What we do know is that Jayavarman conquered the warlords one by one until he had gained control of the whole region and declared himself Chakravartin, or universal leader. This marked the beginning of the Khmer Empire. Even though the age of warlords was past, war continued to be a theme of the Khmer Empire. They fought with the Cham people in what is now central Vietnam, and the Vietnamese in what is northern Vietnam. Infighting also plagued the empire. Young nobles who were hungry for power would rise up in rebellion and seek independence, and plots would be hatched to dispose of the sitting king. These problems only became worse when a king would die. It seemed that a smooth transition of power was not possible for the ancient Khmer people. Despite the near constant fighting and violence, the Khmer people proved to be fantastic builders and engineers. They built massive temples, monuments, roads, and canals. The longest road in the ancient road network was 800 kilometers long, with a series of bridges along the route. Arguably the greatest example of the prowess of the Khmer engineers is the Angkor Wat Temple. Built in the 12th century CE, this sprawling temple remains the largest religious site in the world nearly 1,000 years after its construction. The temple covers over 400 acres of land and took 30 years to build. This is a site you must visit at least once in your life. It is incredible. However, the most important accomplishment of the Khmer engineers was the complex canal system that ran throughout the empire. The system of dams and canals allowed for population growth that made the city Angkor the largest city in the world, with an estimated 1 million residents. The canals and dams stored water throughout the rainy season, when crops were healthy, and controlled the flow of the water through the dry season, when crops would wither and die without this advanced irrigation. The exact cause of the downfall of the Khmer Empire is still somewhat of a mystery, but it seemed to be a variety of factors. First, Thai migration from the north started slowly during the 12th century, but when the Mongols attacked and conquered the Thai lands to the north of the Khmer Empire, many Thais migrated south and established kingdoms on the western borders of the Khmer Empire. These kingdoms would eventually grow in strength, while the Khmer Empire struggled with infighting, until the kingdom Ayutthaya captured the city of Angkor in 1431, marking the end of the Khmer Empire. Even before the capture of the capital city, however, a season of extended drought followed by heavy, destructive rainfall had dramatically weakened the empire. During droughts, the yield of the rice fields in the empire decreased, so the farmers were forced to deforest more land to expand their fields. This loosened up the soil, which then washed into the canals and dams when heavy rainfall came. Eventually, the waterways were so silted that they were ineffective at transporting water, and with a famine, there wasn't enough food for a workforce to rebuild the canals. The story of the fall of the Khmer Empire is a sad one, filled with climate changes and infighting. It is also rather ominous, considering the circumstances we are under in our modern world. Let's all hope we can learn from the past and avoid the same fate as the ancient Khmer.